M. Night Shyamalan's latest film, Knock at the Cabin, the new comedy film 80 for Brady. Bill Nye wears his best hat for living. And inspired by true events, a West Texas single mother wins the lottery and squanders it just as fast, leaving behind a world of heartbreak into Leslie. That's today on the King's Corner. What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. And the first film we're going to be talking about today is M. Night Shyamalan's new film, Knock at the Cabin. This stars Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge as two fathers taking their daughter on a vacation home in the middle of the woods. And then four mysterious strangers, led by Dave Bautista, come to the cabin. I'm not going to spoil the film, not going to give any spoilers about what happens in the movie, but they are forced to make a choice. Dave Bautista and his crew force the couple to make a choice. What is the choice? What is the choice? Well, I'm not going to tell you what the choice is. But look, a lot of people might think M. Night Shyamalan's latest few films haven't been too great. Old, I thought, was a fun, entertaining watch, but yet overall the movie's not that good. Didn't really care for Glass. I liked Split quite a bit. The Visit I enjoyed. But this, I think, may be one of his best films. Knock at the Cabin has such a entertainment value. It never lets go. M. Night's script is really on point. I think he truly realizes these characters and what's going on and the circumstance that they're in and what's at stake here. I think he sets it up very well. It's very well crafted. I think the production design is great. It's a very claustrophobic film. We spend almost the whole time at this cabin, the woods, all of it. It's a beautiful looking film. The cinematography I thought was very good. The movie has a great score. The sound design, it's a very well made film behind the camera and in front of the camera. These performances are incredible. Dave Bautista gives the best performance of his career so far. Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge are also fantastic. Rupert Grint, Abby Quinn, and Nikki Amuka Bird are also fantastic in their roles. You know, I'm sitting there watching it. I'm going, I'm really enjoying this film. I mean, this is thoroughly entertaining and interesting. And guess what? I'm invested, 100% invested and involved into the story and the characters. There's only one thing that doesn't make this movie a 5 out of 5 for me, and it is some of the visual effects. When the film has CGI effects, notably, there's a big effect in the third act of the movie that you go, okay, that doesn't look too real, kind of takes me out of it a little bit. Other than that, I think this is an extremely engaging, entertaining film, and I highly recommend it. I loved Knock at the Cabin, and I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next, we're talking about 80 for Brady. This is based on a true story, believe it or not, of 5 women instead of 4, 2 have which passed away. This stars Jane Fonda, Sally Field, Rita Moreno, and Lily Tomlin as the lead 4 women who love Tom Brady and are super fans of the Patriots and Tom Brady, and they are headed to the Super Bowl in 2017. This movie is not as good as the game itself. I remember watching that Super Bowl in 2017 when the Patriots won the Super Bowl, and they had an incredible comeback. I think that is more exciting and more interesting than this film itself. This is a movie like Las Vegas, if you've ever seen it. It's the Kevin Kline, Robert De Niro, Michael Douglas, Morgan Freeman film. It's very similar. I think that movie is better. It's more funny. I think all the humor in this movie is surface level. You see all the gags in the trailers. The movie has really nothing else to offer. I think the stuff with the characters is very cliched and boring and uninteresting. It's nothing we haven't seen before, but I couldn't tell you that I wasn't entertained. You go to see the film and you say, okay, that was a fun watch, but if I never see that again, I'll be okay with it. If I never think about it again, I'll be okay with it. So I'm very indifferent to this film, and it's a 3 out of 5 star movie. If you want to go see it, I'm not going to stop you, but don't expect the best movie ever. This is exactly how it's advertised, and it is what you get in the trailers is exactly this film. Nothing more, nothing less. Next, we're going to be talking about Living. This landed Bill Nye a Best Lead Actor nomination. This is adapted from the original film Ikiru from director Akira Kurosawa. I haven't seen the original film, heard really good things about it, heard really good things about this film and the performance by Bill Nye. Most of you might know him from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and at World's End. He played Davy Jones, and I really loved him in that. In those movies, I thought he was really good in the motion capture, and he just really brought the essence of that character to life. He's a really good actor. He pops up in a lot of other things as well, smaller things. But this may be his most powerful performance. This is a subdued, quiet film, but yet very powerful film about a man who discovers that he's going to die. He gets the news that he's going to die. He has a terminal illness. You can tell he's kind of prepared for the news. He knows what's coming. So, what does he do? Well, once he's given the news that your time is almost up, uh, he says, you know what? I'm going to try to make the best of what I have left. Whether that's coming out to people saying that, hey, not going to be around much longer. Maybe I'm going to open up a little more, try to do more things, be more social, just finally live the life that I've been not living, the life that's been held inside of me for so long. He just wanted to be a gentleman. One thing leads to another. He's doing this job. He wants to get a little more out of life. Finally, in his last days, he's able to do that. He's able to do that through people he meets. Uh, he's able to do that from a girl that wants to get his basically a letter saying, you're a good worker, yada yada yada. A reference, basically, she's going to another job. By the way, this actress, Amy Lou Wood, she looks exactly like Catherine Newton. I don't know if anybody else watched this movie, but I mean, she looked just like Catherine Newton. I said, this got to be Catherine Newton, but it's not. It's just a duplicate look-alike, I guess. But she was really good. She pulled it off. She was powerful in the scenes with Bill Nye. Realizing this man is finally discovering himself once again. This is a beautiful film about life, loss, uh, what it means to find your happiness, your inner truth at the time that it matters most. And the movie is a bit of a slow burn. I'm not going to say you're going to sit there and you're going to be like, "Wow, this is entertaining the whole way through." This is a very quiet film. It's a slow burn of a film, but by the time it ends, you say, "You know what? That was a really nice little character study." It was a kind of a sad story, but at the same time, it was a story that makes you feel very uplifted as well. Bill Nye is incredible. I love the adapted screenplay here that is Oscar nominated. Um, Solid film. And Living, I think you could have thrown in there as the 10th Best Picture nominee over a film like Triangle of Sadness, maybe. I think this is a solid movie. I didn't quite love it, but I really liked it. And I'm going to give Living 3.5 out of 5 stars. And if you have it in a theater near you, I recommend it. My theater only got it for a week, and then it's getting rid of it. So if you could catch it on Blu-ray or whatever, I recommend it. It's a good little watch. And finally, we're talking about To Leslie, which got Andrea Riseborough a very surprise Oscar nomination, which she is keeping. I know a lot of people were curious what the Academy was going to do because the campaign was very different and there was no money thrown into it. It was just the support of her peers that got her this Oscar nomination, and she is great in the film. Does she deserve a nomination over Viola Davis for The Woman King or Danielle Deadwyler for Till? Absolutely not. I think she's great in this movie, and she got the nomination. That's great. She gives a great performance, but I think those other performances are better. And the films are better as well. This film sort of left me slightly underwhelmed, but I get it. It's a slow film. It's boring at times. It's a movie about a woman that wins the lottery and she totally blows it on alcohol, and she just doesn't do anything responsible with her winnings. So that leads her to leave her family, leave her son, 13-year-old son, and now when she's left with nothing and she has hit rock bottom, she has to return to those who may be able to help her out. Uh, Hotel manager that she meets, she gets a job there. She tries to rekindle some of herself back as she's going through the withdrawals of not having any alcohol. So that's the movie. It is a good film. I don't think this is a bad film, but I just think it's a little slow. It's a little dull at moments, I think her performance is great, but I think the overall film is not as good as her performance. Very similar how I felt about The Whale with Brendan Fraser. I thought his performance was great. The film itself I didn't think was great, and I think I feel the same way here, even though I do think I would prefer to watch The Whale over this. I could see myself buying The Whale on Blu-ray. I can't see myself buying this on Blu-ray. Other than Riseborough's great performance, great supporting performances, Allison Janney, Mark Maron, they're all really good. The film has a lot to say. I mean, it certainly has a lot to say about how do you come back from hitting rock bottom. You watch a woman sulk around for 2 hours. She's very, very good at the accent she's giving. She pulls it off. I've seen a lot of comparisons to this film Hillbilly Elegy that came out a few years ago with Amy Adams and Glenn Close. That was a film that I haven't seen, but I can see why you're making the comparisons. And it's an okay film. If you're going to watch this, you're going to get a good performance, but you might be bored along the way. So, To Leslie is another 3 out of 5 star film. Very indifferent to it. I don't really like it. I don't really dislike it. It's just kind of there. And finally, in our physical media roundup for the week, we have one film to talk about. We were supposed to have two, but Best Buy completely canceled my pre-order for Bones and All, the new Luca Guadagnino film, which was supposed to hit Blu-ray this past Tuesday. Turns out it's not available at stores and Best Buy. They don't have it on the website. You see it says not available in stores, not available online. You look at other places, you don't find it, so who knows what's going on with that release. But the thing we have to talk about is the 4K re-release of Crimes of the Future. This is one of the most underrated films of 2022. A very interesting sci-fi-ish kind of take by David Cronenberg, whose son has a movie in theaters now. Reviewed that last week. It was called Infinity Pool. If you're interested for my thoughts on that, check out last week's episode of The King's Corner. But Crimes of the Future looks really good on 4K. It's not too big of an upgrade over the Blu-ray, but it still has a little more depth, and the film is decent itself, and I really enjoyed it. So that's where we're at with the physical media roundup, and that's about it for me for this episode. Guys, comment down below. What are your thoughts on these films? What do you plan on seeing? What did you see? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Next week's episode of The King's Corner will include reviews for the 25th anniversary of Titanic and the final Magic Mike film, Magic Mike's Last Dance. You can follow me on Twitter at RyanKing72 and Instagram and TikTok at KingArises131. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The King's Corner, and until next time, over and out.